Right, so this is the start of my bed. This is called a bush bed. I'm going to make it up a little bit higher. This is just the first kind of layer, if you will. This is your box spring. So I'm just going to keep building this thing, but you don't need to see me chopping it. Alright, so I've got my box spring of my bed all formed up here. I just need to kind of tie it down. But now I need to do something that you don't get to do with your own bed at home, which is I got to size it for me. And the way I'm going to size it is from the top of my shoulders to the bend of my knees in the back here. So the way to do that is I take my trusty stick measuring stick, drop it down to the bottom of my knees, and there's my length. So here's my shoulders, and here's my knees. Whoa, it's almost like I built one of these before. Well, lucky for me, I don't need to go any farther with measuring. Now I just start to put it all
so the
together.
next stage of the bush bed is to put a good resilient material down. This will be the base of your mattress. So you can see this here. What I've used here is a bunch of willow. It's got a nice spring to it. It makes a nice bed. So depending on how hard you want your bed, you can put more willow or less, and then you will be good to go. So, how do you get on this bed?
Well, you don't just flop down on it, that's for sure. Sit in the center over your pole, and then you just nicely lay back and lay into it. Now, this in itself wouldn't be a very good bed. Be a little uncomfortable just laying on sticks. So we need to make a mattress, and that's next. Alright, so the next thing I need to do is I need to put a mattress on my bed, like I've talked about earlier. Okay, and in this great spruce ecology, you got great mattress material. You could use anything that's resilient enough to take some spring, but then come back. But here, with this nice spruce, we're going to use that. This is how we take spruce off the tree. Basically, we need to measure, and we always measure with stuff that we have on us. So in this case, we use our arms, right? So from the crook in our elbow here to our fingertips is how long we're going to go, and we're going to break it off. So to break it off, I'm going to snap it up, and then I'm going to pull it towards me like so. Okay, so nice and simple again. I'm going to snap it up and then pull it towards me. And I'm just going to do this. This requires no use of a knife, which is awesome, and it keeps our knife nice and sharp for when we need to do things that require that. And it's actually quicker than using a knife because we can just pluck that off as we need it. So we want to just keep the ends of the tree here. Be a little bit selective. You don't want to take everything off. In this case here, I'm in a place that's going to be deforested really soon, so I can kind of take all I want. I've asked the owner, and everything's great. So just like that, in under a minute, I've got a good bunch. And I'm going to need a lot of these good bunches to make a good, nice mattress. When I'm making my bed, I'm going to take these boughs, and you can see how they have a natural curve in them. I'm going to take them and put them in a chevron pattern so that the broken tips are all facing out. So I nicely lay them in there to make a nice, comfortable mattress. In doing this, what ends up happening is I don't have to worry about laying on the hardest part of the stick, which is obviously where I broke it off because it's the thickest part, and it's all uniform and neat and placed down. You want to have at least a handful, a hand width of material when it's actually pushed down. So in this case, I still got some work to do. But if you can look at my bed, you'll see that it is one nice group of boughs, and then we can put this here. Okay, get into my bed, and I lay down. Oh yeah, I've got it pretty close. I'm almost there. That's pretty exciting stuff. Woo. The question I get asked is this realistic? Something realistic that I would make when I'm in a survival situation? For sure I would. The reason I'd make a bed like that one there is because I require 8 hours of sleep. Everybody does. Now in our modern times we've kind of got away from that, and we go and we get as little sleep as possible. Sometimes we work ourselves into a sleep deprivation, and if you get down to about 3 hours of sleep a day, that's about as minimum as it gets. You get any less than that, and boy, you're really hurting. So a good bed, that's almost better than a good shelter over your head. Right now, not a cloud in the sky. If I wanted to, I could say, you know what, I'm just going to work on my bed. That's what's going to keep me good tonight, and then tomorrow I'll work on my shelter, right? I might risk it. I don't need to worry about that because the next thing is my shelter, which is nice and simple to set up, and you'll see that in a bit. I just pulled a left Stroud.